Hey guys, Rascal here, and welcome back to another Rascal Reviews. This time reviewing the actual good Ben 10 movie, Ben 10's Secret of the Omnitrix. Now, you might have already seen my review of the newest Ben 10 movie, Ben 10 vs. the Universe. Gosh, I'm saying Ben 10 a lot in this review right now. Yeah, that movie sucked, so you might want to look at this movie instead and get more enjoyment out of it. Now, if you have seen the other review, I have stated that the new movie felt like a rehash of this movie, Secret of the Omnitrix. And it pretty much does, like, basically almost everything this movie did, but way worse. Include the characters that were in it, and just changed all their purposes. Now, for in here, this movie came out during Ben 10 week on Cartoon Network, which I actually remember participating in by watching Ben 10 pretty much every single day. I did it anyway, so that just was normal for me. And in here, this was a TV movie, and it was supposed to serve as a sort of big special during the final season. Now, it wasn't the final movie it wasn't a movie that was like a series finale for it, but it more or less was like a big event. It was sort of the payoff for watching Ben 10 all this time. And it did have like a series finale, but it wasn't in a movie format. It was basically just, him going back home. But for here, even if this wasn't a series finale movie, it was still a really epic film and telling for Ben 10. So in case you didn't know, I'll tell you anyway. In here, Ben's watch is basically on the fritz, and when he was fighting Animo, he got exposed to a DNA bomb that was supposed to turn every human on the planet, or maybe Tri-City like Doofenshmirtz, into an animal. And it actually sets off a self-destruct protocol for the Omnitrix. So now every time he uses it, the countdown gets faster. And if it gets down all the way to 0, it will literally blow up with probably his arm on it, which is pretty dark. And here, he also goes with Tetrax to space and need to find Azimuth, who is the creator of the Omnitrix. Now, in here, I mentioned in the other review that Azimuth was a jerk in the other one. Like I said, I did point out that Azimuth did have a little bit of an egotistical issue in here because he's a gray matter. I'm surprised he even kept that part in for the new one. But anyway, it makes sense that, he's a little more like this in here because he created all these things. Of course, he's kind of self-absorbed. He thinks highly of himself. So it makes sense that they did that here, unlike in the new one. And here you're kind of just going on the journey to find Azimuth. But the thing is, you didn't know who Azimuth was. You assumed he was this great, big, powerful alien that created the Omnitrix. He was something like Clockwork or some master of technology. But no, you gotta find out he's a gray matter, which is actually ironic. And, of course, Gwen joins him on this journey, and, Ben doesn't know it. And they, of course, go through this back and forth thing where they argue and butt heads and everything. And it's funny because, it builds up to what happens later in the film with Ben thinking that Gwen is gone and he feels, like, really guilty about it. And it shows that he really loved and cared about Gwen despite the stuff that they said to each other and they bickered and stuff. You knew that they still cared about each other in the end, which I thought that was really endearing, and the remake movie failed on that part. So in here, another thing that also comes to in the forefront is that they have another alien that kind of looks like Vilgax, and her name is Myax, I kid you not, and they call her a Camara sui generis, and actually that's actually what they kept in the reboot. So I will give the reboot a point for actually keeping the names of the aliens intact. And they're thinking that she was Vilgax until they see that she's a girl, and when they see she is it, she actually ends up going on with them anyway because she actually was the original assistant to Azimuth. So we know where that plot point came from for the original. And it sort of becomes this journey of, finding out more about the Omnitrix, what was the true purpose of it, because up until this point, you really didn't know what the Omnitrix was for. I mean, Ben uses it to transform into aliens, he uses it to fight evil, but you find out what the true purpose of the Omnitrix is with this film, and Ben used it for an even greater purpose. So yeah, if I want me to like give a basic rundown of the movie, it's really great. I mean, there's not too much I can say to say it's even better because it's a great movie. It's not even really that long. Believe it's 90 minutes or less. Usually their TV movies aren't that long. But it really doesn't feel like 90 minutes. It feels like it's a much longer movie. And not in a way where it drags on so much that you wish it was over. Just in a way where it's so well done and you're into the story that you won't feel like you've been watching for 90 minutes or less. It feels like a complete story. It has lots of action. He actually turns into aliens multiple times. You love the story, you love the characters. Of course, it's a great superhero movie. Yes, it counts as a superhero film. They say it right there, superhero. And it's just a really great movie. And you can't remake it. You can't capture the magic that it had with the Ben 10 versus the Universe movie. And that's kind of why I wanted to talk about this film, because the new movie just misses the whole point and the magic of the original film. If it's trying to reboot it, it's really missing what made it special. Now, we'll say the little extra thing on here in case you have the DVD. I have only one version of it. And apparently at Walmart they had like alternate versions of the opening sequence where Ben turned into different aliens. In one he turned into Accelerate, and another he turned into Heat Blast, and another one he turned into a new alien called Eye Guy, which looked kind of creepy. And the one I got, he turns into Eye Guy. I don't know if there are like other versions on my disc. I didn't see them, but maybe you'll find them on a different edition that you have. And there's even a pop-up trivia version, which I don't have either, but I remember seeing that on TV, which was actually pretty fun. And I really liked when TV shows did that, and I get to see extra bonus content for it as we're watching the film. But yeah, I still think Ben 10 Secret Omnitrix is an amazing film. One of the best animated superhero movies, or just superhero movies in general. It really shows case how awesome that the Ben 10 series is, because you know I love this show just like Ben and Dudley. That's how we found each other. Yeah, I think it's a really great film. Of course, everybody you know from the original series, they come back to do this film. So there's not really anybody new. Of course, you have Dwight Schultz, Tara Strong, Megan Smith, Paul Eating, D. Bradley Baker, Steve Blum, Vanessa Marshall, Robert David Hall was actually one of the new additions for the film, and Fred as scoring. So yeah, definitely recommend Ben 10 Secret of the Omnitrix. Even if you haven't like seen a lot of the regular show, you can watch this film anyway and still get enjoyment out of it without having to watch like every single episode leading up to it. You'll still get the story in it. You'll still get the purpose of him having to watch. Everything is still wrapped up nicely in there without having to watch some more other things, like with My Little Pony, My Academia, and other things where you're required to watch other things to understand the current situation. So, yeah, that's my opinion and review on Secret of the Omnitrix. Really love this movie. If you've seen it, let me know what you think in the comments below. Did you love it too? Most likely you did love it, and if you didn't, you could tell me what they actually could have done to make it even better. And if you haven't seen this movie, I definitely recommend it. It's not on Netflix, unfortunately, but you can buy the DVD anytime or maybe stream it on Amazon. Because Cartoon Network sure doesn't have it on their website. So, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Later.